I'm Kortnie.
And I'm Emily, and this is
Cheers to That.
Hello, everybody. This is your weekly podcast where we talk about motherhood, marriage, and laugh at everything in between. So I remembered it this week. Kortnie, it's time for your question of the day.
Oh, I'm ready. I've been ready all day.
Well, I would hope so, because your answers last time, we have to talk about them. What is your least favorite food on the planet?
My
thing you hate the most?
Oh, that's good, because I'm not a picky person.
Same, but I have mine. I do these so I can talk, so.
I would say, like, any type of, like, fatty meat, like fatty steak. Mm-hmm. I can't do. It makes me gag. But as far as, like, any other food, I really don't have any major preferences. Just fatty steak. I'm just going to go with that one.
I think that's a very solid answer. I, too, don't like that, but I've recently had a renaissance of something I hate that I like, and I'm not a picky eater either, but I've been trying to like this food for a few years, and it's just not going to happen, and that is black olives. I
like those, but I'm not going to snack on them like a green olive.
I hate both of them. I don't like green olives either. I hate olives. Green olives, if I've had a few Bloody Marys and there's one in there that's soaked in Bloody Mary juice and I barely can tell it's an olive, okay. Black olives, I hate them. I wish they didn't exist. They make me so angry.
They're definitely not as good. I will say I am someone that will definitely order a drink based on if it comes with an olive. So one time I ordered a martini because it was like, oh, it comes with a stuffed olive.
Oh, yeah.
And it was the nastiest drink I've ever had.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like martinis.
I hate martinis. I want to be a sophisticated girl that orders a martini, and I'm like, actually,
can I just get the stuffed olives?
Yeah.
Or like the martini.
Only vermouth and olive juice. Like, I don't want the gin or the vodka.
Maybe that's what I don't like. I don't know what it is I don't like about a martini.
Martinis are extremely, like, straight up. Like,
yeah.
Lots of liquor.
I mean, I would rather just take, like, a shot at that point versus sip on a martini.
Yeah, I'm not.
So, any type of olive, though, black olives, I'm not going to just, like, pop one in my mouth. But if it's in a recipe, I think it's fine. No. But green olives, that is something I actually crave during pregnancy. So, at night,
yeah. Because they're so salty.
I think so, because I would eat pickles, the kosher, like the cockroach-sized pickles. Refer back to episode 4 for that one. I would eat those and then a handful of green olives, like almost every night.
Was that with Tucker?
That was with Tucker.
Because with Addie, you were into chocolate chips. And I couldn't eat
hardly anything else. Like, I was so sick with Tucker, but man, did I really get down.
I'm really
with
surprised
some
that you
food.
wanted something that acidic and salty, because
You think it would hurt my stomach.
Right. Or if you had to throw up. I started choosing my foods. I was really sick when I was pregnant with Fielding, which you know, but they don't. And I threw up for like 20 weeks, and I would pick my foods based on what was like the best to throw up.
Yeah, there are certain foods that I ate that I do not recommend ever throwing them
Popeye's
up.
Mashed potatoes. I've thrown up a lot of things in this lifetime. Nothing is worse. They're so peppery and spicy. Ooh, that
hamburger
hurts.
meat.
I will say, but if you are a mom that is pregnant and having sicknesses, apple cinnamon oatmeal, may I suggest? Tastes pretty okay coming up the other direction.
Yes, sweet. Not, I don't know why I went with the most acidic thing.
No, that would be, I'm just thinking of vomiting.
I also got sick during pregnancy, and I just, I guess I winged it every single day.
All I did was eat fruit with Fielding. I didn't eat anything hot. I wanted everything cold. Food. I survived on yogurt and fruit cups from Chick-fil-A.
Yes, you did.
The Greek yogurt parfaits.
I ate a lot of mango. You're allergic to mango, that definitely wasn't you.
Although I am a denier in my allergic reaction. I don't believe in that.
She'll be like, my tongue's feeling a little tingly.
I think it's just like mind over matter.
You can fight.
Connor told me that I should.
Reaction.
Well, the other day he told me that he's like heard about people's allergic reactions changing after pregnancy, and he was like, "We should really try again with mango." And I was like,
"I mean, do you have an EpiPen ready?
Do we have an EpiPen, or you just want to kill me?
Do you have an EMT on hand?
No. I mean, it's not really worth it to me, but I am. So, fun fact: I've never been stung by a bee or a wasp in my life.
Yeah, because you're an inside girly.
Literally, don't go outdoors. And if I see a bee or a wasp, your girl is running. Especially wasps, because those things come with a vengeance, and they're going to keep coming for you.
Except when you had one in your house the other day. I have a video I should post, because she's spraying wasp spray all over her window. She doesn't care. She is with that wasp spray all over her curtains.
Do you know how many times I've done that though? Because the wasp spray eventually just like dissolves and it's gone. You never have evidence. And I actually still haven't gotten that wasp off that windowsill now that you're saying it.
I was shocked of what you were doing.
Well, we have wasps. I don't know if it's because we have like a pool they're attracted to the water or something, because we get them bad in this. I've never had them as bad as I do at this house.
They probably have a nest somewhere.
I guess we knock them all down. We've got exterminators, but they freaking attack us. But I get a wasp in my house like once a week in the summer, it seems like, and I literally just douse my kitchen in toxic wasp spray. So that's why my kid has mutant strength, because he's just huffing wasp spray.
That's what he pumps up on.
He's huffing it when I'm not looking. No, but yeah, that's that on that. Oh, also, before we forget, someone asked us to share, we were just like getting feedback from friends. Yeah. Someone was like, hey, share what y'all are drinking. Cause like, what is it? And guess what we're drinking? And what we're usually drinking is La Marca Prosecco, that beautiful, beautiful girl. We love her.
This one is honestly my favorite champagne.
It's so delicious.
And I like it. It's at Target. It's like $14. And sometimes you can catch it on sale for like $12 or $13. And I feel like it's worth those $3 extra to get so like good. A quality champagne. That's my tap though. Like I won't go any higher on a champagne.
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm comfortable. But like sometimes I'll ball out. I like Miraval, their little rosé thing, which I'll get those for maybe like next week. And I think it's probably like between $15 and $20, but it is delicious.
Well, so from experience, I know I had like this expensive champagne. I think it was like Dom Perignon, because my sister, like, she's an amazing lawyer who like just does all sorts of things.
Shout out, Lauren. Good job being smart.
I think that like they gifted that just for like working. So that's not what teachers get gifted, like for working hard.
That's not what happens in the education system.
I was lucky enough to get to try it, but honestly, and that was before I really liked champagne, but I remember tasting it and I was like, do you have orange juice to go with this? And I'm like, I think that's a party foul to mix anything with Dom Perignon.
Is it Don or Dom?
Oh,
I actually don't know.
It's Dom. I think of like a man named Don.
We're actually just not yeah, but a man could also be named Don. That logic isn't logic.
I think we're saying the same thing though. Don, Dom, who knows? Correct us. It's okay.
I'm just gonna mumble it so no one knows. Dom Perignon. It's on my bucket list to try, but I'm not spending $200 on my own bottle. I need to like hang out with someone.
Maybe when we become millionaires from this, we can just go and splurge on
Dom Perignon or Don Perignon, whichever.
We would accept if you would like sponsorships.
They're like, you literally don't know the name and you're classless, so no.
Like, you don't even know the price. You don't know the name. You cannot drink this.
And we just heard that you mixed it with orange juice. Because you're so low rent, you mixed orange juice into a $200 champagne.
They're like, stick to your La Marca,
yeah,
please.
That's fine. You know what? I like it down here. I'm happy in middle class. We're good. Yeah.
How was your Mother's Day?
Oh, my Mother's Day. It was good. I went to my sister-in-law's, like I said. Everything was, of course, immaculate, beautiful. She had like champagne punch, and it was just wonderful. Fielding got to play with some other kids, and he just had like the best time. Of course, as I mentioned, he is a monster, so he was playing with a 4-year-old who he was as tall as.
Of course.
And had double the head size because his head is massive. Which was cool, but they were just having so much fun, and it was just fun to see him play with other kids. Yeah, because he's an only child, and I see him play with Addie and Tucker, but like I'm so used to their rhythm of playing.
Oh yeah,
it was different to see him play with a new kid. It's always nice to see them out
of like our little bubble and see, okay, how do they interact with other kids? Like, do I have a little demon on my hands, or like, am I raising a decent human?
He was like really cute. Like, I honestly was really proud of him because he just goes and was like so sweet and like stands next to them and just does his big old smile and is like
so sweet.
Wants to play with them.
It's always my favorite seeing like my kids interact with just like stranger kids.
It's so cute. So then my brother-in-law was like grabbing him by the leg and just throwing him down a hallway, like sliding him on wood floor.
He was a bowling ball.
He was having the time of his freaking life. He was like grabbing him on the wood floor. I didn't even know he could like slide him this hard. And I would think it would hurt like his leg or something. He freaking loved it.
Well, and Travis is that typical like fun uncle that is going to do that, but it's like not, the kids are going to love it because that's the fun uncle
stuff. But it's like, you never know. It could go either way. Like some kids could be really scared and some kids can really be about it. And Fielding was going and like laying down at the end of the hall every time afterwards, laying down and lifting his leg up like, come on, do it again. And it was so cute. And then Travis's dad, so my sister-in-law's father-in-law, was like roughhousing with him too. And he's like, oh my gosh, like he's so cool. And it was just fun to like get to hang out with them. And
you got to see your brother too, right?
Yes, I got to see my brother yesterday. Good. Yeah, we played water pong at like 3 p.m., which is, you know, the loser version of beer pong. Where you don't have to drink alcohol. We did this whenever we went on vacation in Florida and drank coffee. But yeah, we did that. And my mom hit the winning shot and beat us. So that was...
Of course she did.
I know, literally.
So fun fact about Emily's mom, she is the luckiest person on earth. Like she'll go and gamble at a casino and she'll come back and be like, I'm a winner. I'm like, or get a scratch off. Like a $2 scratch off from the gas station.
When we lived in Ohio, she would always get scratch offs, but she couldn't redeem them, I guess, because she had a Texas license or something. Yeah. So she'd be like, oh, I won like $150, but I can't do it. So can you go in and get it real quick and then bring... I'm like, you're kidding. Like, and I get a scratch off.
Do I get a percentage of
Literally,
this?
I get a scratch off and like lose all my money always. Yeah. I'm never lucky on scratch offs. My mom has won... almost the salaries
like gift baskets with it, like random stuff. Yes. So she doesn't just win money with these scratch offs. Yeah, she wins like, oh, you got a Yeti cooler full of beach things.
Wins everything. Yes. And I really don't understand how it happens because
at this point it's not luck, it's talent.
No, it's witchcraft. She's voodoo dolling someone because sorry mom,
she would
let me blow up your spot because like what I'm like, this is bullshit. I like if I try to do anything, I never win anything.
Yeah. That trait didn't get passed down to you.
I've won one thing in my life and it was so nerdy. It was AP US history lesson plans for the year. And I was freaking like pumped.
But as a teacher, that is...
Oh, no, and it's, if you are a history teacher, especially high school, her Instagram is Ye Old History Shop. And
Ye Old,
like YEOLDE history shop with 2 P's and an E. Like it's like old English. And her activities are truly like
they like enhance your classroom.
They're so good, and they would take so much time to do yourself. And I like barely had to prep a push. Yeah. Well, and teaching an AP class is intimidating, especially like I don't have a master's in history, or I mean, I don't have a master's in general, but a lot of people that teach like advanced history classes like that have masters in history specifically.
Yeah,
it's a lot of content and it's definitely intimidating. So she made that really easy. So I mean, I was pumped that I won that. It was like a $600 value or something.
Hey,
but have I won money? No.
Will
I ever win the lottery?
It's fine.
No. But you know what I did win the lottery with? You.
Oh, I love that. You did. And I'm priceless. So,
yep. That's it. So there's no money. Or you're free, whichever one you want to say. How was your Mother's Day?
It was really good. I feel like I got to relax a lot and I actually slept. Well, I woke up early and then I just laid in bed and I fell back asleep until 10:30, which... If you know me, like I never sleep in. I would rather take a 2-hour nap in the day. So like I still make up my time for sleep. I'm not someone who like, I wake up at 5 and then just go all day. I do want my nap, but I got to sleep in and we just like were relaxed all day. I like hit a little bit of funk for a little bit of just like being a little bit depressed about Mother's Day because my mom has passed away. And then I got out of that and ended up like, it was just like a little blip in the road. And then I was able to like just finish it out really well of just like being able to, I read my book. I watched, I'll kind of combine this with like reading, watching, and listening. I still, every single time I get tongue-tied on
watching.
Are you kidding me? I think
we should just rename it.
I think that's what it needs to be.
If we can combine it into one word, all 3 words, I think that's what we need to do. We'll workshop it.
I'll think on it. But Addie and I, while Tucker was sleeping and Matt was, I don't know what he was doing around the house, but Addie and I watched Miss Americana, the Taylor Swift show.
Oh, you Snapchatted me about that. And for some reason I was thinking you were talking about the song.
Okay, so the weird thing is, and we mentioned this a couple of episodes back, I'm really bad about remembering what I watch. Turns out I've watched that before, but I couldn't remember it at all. And I kept remembering like glimpses of it, but I'm like, this seems really unfamiliar.
But you're like, I blocked this out and repressed it.
What is happening? Why can't I remember?
For Taylor, so it's traumatizing for me.
Yeah, apparently. And so Addie and I got to watch that together, and she kept going, Mom, when's she coming on with her dress? And it was just really fun to have her like partake in that because she's so into Taylor Swift right now. And it's fun because it's like having someone that inspiring for your daughter.
Yeah.
So I asked her, I was like, would you ever want to get up on stage and like sing and dance? Because she's so outgoing.
Theatrical.
I mean, that is her being.
She performs,
it's
let it go
her.
for us against our will frequently, and it is.
Yeah, she performs anything. She sings "Cruel Summer" by Taylor Swift.
Yes. Oh, so you have to. We went to our friends, Lena and Chris, their son Jamie's birthday party, and she at one point, like Lena's a huge Swiftie. Lena's more of a Swiftie than us. And she put on Cruel Summer and Addie in front of strangers because it's all
about
like
20 people that she did
Chris
not
and
know.
Lena's family that we've never, it's like their extended family. We haven't met them. It's like cousins, aunts, uncles, grandma, grandpa, all these people that she has never met. Performed.
And when I
Cruel
say performed, she was like on the ground with her hand across her head.
Doing the choreo. Literally,
and like as in summer, like it's hot.
Yes.
She had all the moves down, and yet like she sings it in the car all the time, but she's never performed
she was
that
singing
way.
all the words. It was really amazing. It's really cool hearing a 4-year-old say, I'm drunk in the back of the car.
So there is it's like a daycare mom that I kind of know, and she was like, oh yeah, we listened to Taylor Swift too, but I put on like the edited version, and I didn't say anything, but I was like, oh, there's an edited version. Like she was like, there's there's a playlist on like Spotify where it's filtered, and I'm like, oh well, Addie listens to the full version, but I'm not going to say that.
You also know that like my son, I've mentioned, has very few words, but one word he does say is shit. Shit. And he uses it accurately. Like he'll walk around and be like, put his hands on his hips like, shit. Yeah. And you're like, yeah, dude, for real.
Well, and I'm like, she knows which words not to say, and she's fine. Like, she's
fine. Can you tell everyone though about what she asked for a party that one time? This is my favorite.
This is some mom trom. This is for her 4th birthday. We were planning it. Let me just say, we ended up doing a Little Mermaid theme, but before we
very
got
similar
there,
to what she requested.
Before we got there, she said, Mom, I know what I want to do for my birthday. And I was like, oh, what? Never would have thought this would come out of her mouth. And she goes, Mom, I want a bad word birthday party. And I was like, stunned. Excuse me? What'd you say? A bad word birthday party. She was dead set on it. And I'm like, but what does that mean? What does that look like? And she was like, everyone gets to go say bad words and they don't get in trouble. And if that doesn't sum up my daughter.
No, that's literally the most Addie thing ever, because she's like, ooh, I've been cooking on. Can you imagine? She'd be just like, beep, 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 beep.
Yes. And she had it all planned out. And so, maybe when she's old enough, like 18, we should throw that in her 18th honor.
Birthday party, we should do a surprise party. It's a bad word party. And she'll be like, that's not even funny. I said that when I was 4. It's not a big deal. And we're going to be like, we remember, bitch. Don't forget. Yeah, that's what I think we've talked about it on the podcast before, but like our conversations are like half spelling, and especially like I am a cusser. My grandma says it's generational. Not because I'm not intelligent. My grandma's
not generational trauma, just generational.
Yeah, my grandma's like, that's just what your generation does. Like, you ignorant swine.
I thought she meant like passed down, but she doesn't cuss at all. So I was a little
I've heard
confused.
her say cuss words. She'll cuss sometimes, and it's always I'm like, oh, like it catches me off guard. It throws
you off
because my grandma's like very proper, but I love her, and there are so many things about her personality that mirror mine now that I'm an adult. And but cussing is like I don't really cuss towards like. I obviously don't cuss at her, but I don't even cuss.
Okay.
Grandma. No, just kidding. No, but
grandma abuser.
Even like in conversations, like I kind of hold my tongue a little bit.
Yes.
But she told me she was going to listen to the podcast, and I was like, I don't know if I can let you. Like, she's like, send me the link. I'm like, girl, I don't know. And she's like, what are you so worried about? I'm like, I say bad words. She's like, it's going to be fine, Emily. Like,
it's knowing that your family is watching, like our dads watch. My great aunt, my Aunt Patty, shout out.
Shout out to Aunt Patty watch.
She texted me on Mother's Day. She's like, happy Mother's Day. And I love your podcast. And like, I think my cheeks turned red probably just watching that, because I was like, oh, like these people that are like so important in my life, like are watching this. Yeah. And so, I got to filter it down a little bit.
Yes. Same. No, my grandma has been telling me, so like my grandma's one of 8, and then my grandma's the oldest. My dad is the oldest. I'm the oldest. So all of my second cousins that are technically my dad's first cousins, like my grandma's siblings' kids, are all closer in age really to me than my dad, just because of like how we are in birth order. But like, I mean, we're all old now. We don't have, everyone has kids, everyone has their own lives. And like, I'm on the precipice of my 30s and they're all like in their 30s or 40s, right? Yeah. So we don't talk a ton, but it's so funny because my grandma has been like, oh, Carrie's listening to your podcast and like sharing it with her friends. So Carrie, thank you so much for sharing.
Well, and I like that it can
it's
be
so cool.
4 different, like speaking of generations, like it's for anybody and like any like stage of life.
Well,
so
in a way to connect with like certain family members that I probably haven't seen that now they're like getting to kind of know me in a certain way. That's what I keep hearing is everyone keeps telling me that I talk to you. Like, I feel like I know you guys so much better because it's also like our friendship, which sorry, I'm so introspective on this podcast right now, but like it's our friendship. You and I just talking. This is how we talk normally. Yeah. And like people get to see that. Like it's just, it's cool.
Like this is what I get to do for fun now.
Yeah.
Get to talk to my best friend about whatever shit we want to talk about.
And guess what? The guys watch the kids for an hour and no one bothers us.
Actually, this is all that we wanted out of the podcast.
We're actually photoshopping all the numbers. We're not talking.
We don't need sponsorships at this point. No. We don't need views or reviews. This was all a facade.
I'm going to cut everything you're saying out. We want all of those things.
I'm just kidding.
Abort mission.
This is all a facade to get that 1 hour of time to ourselves.
We're not even hitting record on anything. We're just talking.
We're pretending. It's AI. Everything is AI.
AI. And then also like I'm going in and just photoshopping numbers like, oh yeah, we've got these views on YouTube.
So that the guys will keep wanting to do this.
No, I mean that couldn't be true. They're too involved, unfortunately. But
Matt
also
was sending me an article today, like 10 ways to boost your podcast. Yeah. So they're
very invested, and I think it's
so
because
deep into it.
They want us to retire them early and become millionaires. So if you guys could just get on with that, that'd be great.
Yes, right. Okay, let's move on.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. We started talking about reading, watching, listening a little bit. Yeah. But I did do my homework.
Oh, okay.
I watched The Idea of You.
What did you think?
It was fine. It was fine.
You didn't feel like all like giddy inside? You're kind of dead inside.
I really am. Okay.
That's a compliment.
Anyways. Cool. You love to hear it, but also true. No, it was good. So I feel like if I didn't know that it was a book before I watched it, I would have known watching it because I feel like there's just so much like contextualization that didn't happen in the movie. Like, yes, they're like this swept up in this romance and stuff, but I kind of just feel like I needed more like in-depth first-person POV. You know what I mean? Like, I needed it in book form.
Well, yeah. You're a bookie girl. I will say
so smart and literate.
Because I love to, whenever I know that it's a book, I like to see how it compares to the book. And I will say, I'm not spoiling anything, but the book ending is different than the Netflix ending. And so maybe you'll feel different about it.
They don't do the time forward, not to spoil it. They don't do the time forward in the book, right?
I know,
like
I'm giving you wide eyes like, are we spoiling it right now?
No, I didn't say what happens when it goes forward, but I'm just saying in the book, I think it just ends where it ends. And the movie kind of closes it out a little bit.
Yeah, the movie totally closes it out. So, okay, you know.
No, I liked it.
I accept your opinion.
I'm not going to say I won't watch it again because, you know, I love rewatching stuff. I was going to
say I won't watch it again, and I
feel like I need another, like, pass at it. It was fine.
Yeah. Okay.
I do want to read the book, I think, now. I liked
accept your answer.
Okay. Thank you, Alex Trebek. Is this Jeopardy? What is? It was okay. What is? The movie was fine. Connor, on the other hand, did watch it with me and said it was garbage. So you can take that up with him. But Connor
says everything is
He
garbage.
does, and also something Connor hates, which the movie really did kind of close things out. But something Connor hates is anything in a movie being left kind of open-ended. Like, it makes him crazy.
That explains his personality.
Oh, no. And I'm like, babe, what do you want? Do you want them to give, like...
no, he wants
birth to death content. And then he wants the generations after that. What happened?
So you want a series of movies.
He wants, like, truly, he wants to know, like, well, did they make it? Was everyone happy?
He wants
Did they get married? Literally. No, that is exactly it. He wants, like, the full, like, what happens after? 30 years after.
Well, because he is so black and white. And so it's probably hard for him to,
I'm like, it's okay. It's leaving it up to interpretation. We watched a movie recently, and I can't think of what it was. And I was like, that was so beautiful and, like, profound and whatever. And he's like, that is the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen.
Well,
this
and
is
you
so
like
stupid.
more artsy movies than him. And I mean, he doesn't like artsy
I'm
at
so,
all, so
literate, intelligent, cool. Such a hipster. No, not really.
And her husband, apparently.
Dumbass. No, just kidding.
Just kidding. Cut. Cut.
Connor is just more literal than me, and I'm more like, I like kind of artsy, weird movies.
Same.
For sure. But like, you know, they serve different purposes to me. Like, I can appreciate a movie that maybe isn't like everyone's cup of tea, but like I like it. Like Midsummer is my favorite movie.
Yeah.
And I can't get anyone to watch it with me. I tried to make my parents force them to watch it, and they're like, what is happening? And I'm like,
it's so good. I love that movie.
Phenomenal.
So Matt and I actually both started a new series last night on Apple TV. I finally made my way back because I don't have HBO Max still. So we started.
Clearly, because you're still calling it HBO Max.
Max.
They cut off the HBO. It's more modern.
So anyways, I started. Sorry. Oh, no, you're fine. I just had to gather my thoughts. Well, I haven't even heard of this series, so who knows if it's going to be a piece of shit or not. But it just popped up. It popped up on the, what's on like the top.
Recommended?
Yeah, the recommended ones. And so it's called Dark Matter, and it has Jennifer Connelly in it. And okay, you know him from so many movies. His name's Joel
Edgerton.
That's
what I'm going with.
I can't think of the movies he's in right now. I just looked them
You
up.
just read me a whole list. Wait, all I can think of is The Gift.
So The Gift and The Warrior. Like, he's very unique kind of looking. He plays
in The Gift, he's a creepy guy.
I do think, though, because I was like, he looks different in this movie, and I swear to God, they either put cheek filler or what is that thing where they take out
buccal fat removal.
The buccal fat removal, because his like. It doesn't
like
look
a sexy
good on
skeleton.
It does not look good on him. It makes it.
It doesn't look good on most people. They look like skeletons.
Yeah. So, anyways, I do hate though that series are doing this now, where they'll only release like 1 or 2 episodes at a time, and so now, like on Apple TV, you have to wait another week.
But the problem
to watch
is
the next episode.
So the problem is that like. That was how we were conditioned in our whole lives, right? Like we were conditioned to watch. Everything was a week at a time, and when we were growing up. It was on cable, so if you missed your time spot,
but then they early adulthood
they introduced binge watching, and so now they've talked about it on the toast, like how detrimental is it binge watching because you work on this show for months,
and then
people are consuming it in a day.
Night. That's true.
It's so it's an interesting point because how do we consume content at this rate? How do they produce for it?
It leaves no build up.
Exactly.
And so we watched 2 episodes last night. Dark Matter is like a psychological premise. Imagine like all of the weird Leonardo DiCaprio movies that he's been in, or even like Interstellar.
Ooh, I love Interstellar.
Anything where it like makes you think. So he's on a different timeline, and it's funny because Matt and I even paused the show last night and like argued over exactly the same thing. Like we both knew what was happening, but we were arguing over it because it is a confusing show. Like, you have to pay attention. Okay. It was a good argument. You know, it was like one of those ones where I just nervous laughed.
I'm just like imagining hearing it where y'all are both arguing the same point, and you just really needed me and Connor to be like, hey guys,
we needed.
You guys are saying the same thing in just different ways.
It's like if we were to like go to therapy.
You need a mediator.
The same thing. Yeah. So I do recommend it. It's really good. And the 3rd episode comes out on Wednesday. So we'll be watching that again this week.
Are you trying to trigger me because I talked previously about how I canceled my Apple TV?
Yeah.
Are you in the NSA now?
And okay, this is not fair because Apple TV, I pay for by myself, and it's something I can't share. Like Apple TV, you cannot share your subscription. So listen, people, like Lauren and Matt, I've tried to like give my part in this subscription sharing, and like Apple's just.
And you're also trying to cheap out with the $10 a month, not the $20 a month HBO. I see you. Well, you'll have to let me know if, like you said, it doesn't turn into a big piece of shit.
You just don't know.
You're so right.
I'm only in 2 episodes.
If it is really good by the end, and you feel like it's really good, then I'll resubscribe. But
if you have Apple TV though, like turn it on. It's really good.
Yeah.
And
if you're not poor like me,
I like shows that like keep your mind going.
Yeah.
And like make you like I didn't have my phone. I wasn't looking at my phone the entire time. No, me too. But it's a good challenge for me to put my phone to the side and like, no, this is uninterrupted, undivided attention. It's very good for my brain.
That's honestly healthy and how we should be consuming stuff.
It's
but
hard,
I find myself being so fidgety when I'm watching
I'll
TV.
pull up a social media app and I'm not looking at anything. I pull it up.
Tetris basically while I'm watching shows, and Connor's like, put your phone down, like, are you watching this? And I'm like, I'm doing both.
I'm multitasking, but it's like your brain
like I need both. I need like a do and I need to watch. Like but I can't.
Isn't that crazy that our brains are like that now?
Yeah, it's sad.
It's
but then if I read a book, I can sit there and read a book all day. So it's kind of
so you're not like brain dead. Like your brain's not mush.
I mean, I am.
You know. I mean, I am brain dead.
My brain is mush, but in probably like an above average way.
Yeah, in a productive way.
Amen. Okay, we've talked for 30 minutes. So.
I know, and we have not gotten into anything we're supposed to get into. Oh my God. We better get this train moving along.
Everyone, tell us to shut the hell up. Just kidding. You can't talk. You're held hostage.
After. And they're like, you'll drag that out so long.
Shut up.
Remember, sandwich it with a compliment.
Yes. You're beautiful.
Just kidding.
Shut the fuck up. I love the podcast. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, do you want to do Mom Trom?
Yeah, let's move on to Mom Trom. So these were submissions, and keep submitting, guys, because anytime that I get to read these, it's the best thing ever. So major fail. Trauma, probably both. There was a time that, I'm going to read it from her perspective because I noticed on my other readings, I kept switching perspectives, which from a teacher standpoint is not a great time.
How dare you?
Okay. That time I thought I would take the kids to the park because it was nice outside. And then took it a step further by putting my son on my lap to go down a tall slide. Let's just stop and say, how many times have we done this? I mean, I've done it, which I know that we talked about this, but it still is like,
well, you just think I'm going to slide down the kid, down the slide with my kid.
Like Tucker can't slide down on his own besides on his belly backwards. So if I want to slide with him, I'll just put him on my lap. But this happened to her and her son. So they went down that tall slide and like he broke his leg in the process because we went so fast and his leg got caught on the slide. So he broke his leg. 2. He was 2 at the time.
So this was my best friend in hair school who this happened to. And I know I'm only saying that because I have told you this story 300 times because I remember when her son broke his leg and I remember messaging her because I'm nosy as shit and I was like, what happened? And she's like, literally he was in my lap and she educated me on this and I talk about this every time I go to the park with somebody. I'm like, PSA, like, because I cannot imagine.
It's something that sticks with you. I mean, that is literal mom trauma.
No, that's mom trauma, like, in not a funny way. That is, like, horrible mom trauma.
But it's almost spreading awareness, though, too, to talk about it. Like, I know that
I would have never known.
And hopefully she doesn't feel, like, embarrassed by the situation at all. No. I would hope not, only because, like, this is something that, I mean, so many people do.
If it hadn't happened to her, I would have never thought about it. So basically, like the like physics behind it is like if you have your kid in your lap and you get going and their leg gets caught, your weight is going to continue pushing them forward. So it's better to let them. I know
it literally gives me chills thinking about it.
So it's better. She told me this. It's better to let them slide alone. Because their weight is only going to, 1, propel them a certain speed. And 2, if their like shoe gets caught on the slide, their weight and their force can only go so fast. They aren't going to break their own leg with their force.
It's literal physics.
Exactly. And so like, and when she explained it to me, I was like, oh, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
And this happened years ago. But I tell everyone that I'm like, do not go down the slide. And if I go down the slide of a fielding, I like pick his legs and arms up and I like cocoon him.
Yes. That way his legs won't get caught on anything on your way down.
I did that at Kanga's, the indoor play center, recently. And I went down one of those really tall, like swirly slides. Oh. And I got like the worst plastic burn on my inner elbow. I have a scar.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm freaking pissed. Like I got burnt on a slide. Like how old am I? So anyways, that's what can happen. But
no, that's rough.
I know. But honestly, like great place to spread awareness. Like share the story, spread the awareness.
Exactly.
I tell that story to ever going to go to the
and
park
that is
with.
like never something, we want you guys to share these stories. Like if they're funny, then we're going to laugh about it with y'all. But if it is something like kind of traumatic like that, we're never going to shame you guys because it could happen.
It could happen to anyone.
It could happen to anybody. And I just want people to feel secure in the space
for sure.
Like,
I hope.
Listen, that crap happens. It could happen to literally whoever.
Well, and it's like it happens and it sucks for you for sure. But like to be able to spread awareness kind of makes something good come out of the bad, right? And like there are things like I truly would have never thought about this, and this was before I had fielding, like years before.
Yes.
But I've been so vigilant about it since I had him because this happened to her. And like it's terrible, but I'm glad I have that knowledge.
Yep, exactly.
So if there's never anything like that, like it's so hard to I think share and feel vulnerable and like not judge, but like these things happen to everybody.
And it's just things you don't know until you know or until you hear about it.
Literally.
This next one's pretty funny. My oldest son got a fish and fish tank for his birthday. A few months later, I found my middle son had stuck his hand in the tank, scooped the fish out, and squeezed it so hard its guts were exposed. We had to flush it down the toilet. And she goes on to say, am I raising a future serial killer? That is the first sign. I wouldn't come to conclusions yet.
I can't even stop laughing. I don't think he's a serial killer. Now,
remember, we don't judge here.
I don't think he's a serial killer. Now, if he does move on to other animals, like mammals, if he's doing this to kittens,
maybe call a psychiatrist. But no, but in all seriousness, I'm sure it's just like a freaking boy getting in there and like thinking he's playing with the fish.
100%. So today, Fielding's obsessed with the movie Turbo, which I
haven't ever watched that one.
It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
It's a kind of a heavy hitting cast though. Turbo the snail is Ryan Reynolds.
What?
No, like
that's so
that. I'm discovering all these movies that are voiced by these big people that like came out whenever I was, like 21 and not watching kids movies. And now my son's obsessed with them, and I'm like, why did I know that Ryan Reynolds was voice
big
acting
at the time? So that's weird. It's not like he took a small gig.
No. It's like a star-studded cast. So, anyways, he's obsessed with that. So Turbo's about a snail that like gets injected with nitrous and becomes a super fast. He's like a race car. So I saw a snail outside today and I was like, oh my God, buddy, come here. It's Turbo. And we were like looking at it. And I thought he was going to be like, oh, wow, cool. He picked up the snail by its eyes.
Oh God.
And I'm like,
and he thinks he's being gentle.
No, and I was like, no. So now I scared him probably, but like, so he's probably never gonna touch a bug again, which is okay with me. But
that's just how
boys' brains work. I'm like, you're gonna rip his eyeballs out. This sounds Helen Keller now.
Like they just like go in with their whole entire fist and like just grasp something and like pull it up.
No, you weren't here the other day. Our other friends were here. He was trying to catch a red wasp, trying to catch it.
What?
Yeah, he saw it flying and he was like, ooh, wow, wow, and tried to catch it. I was like, no. Like, Jesus Christ. So that's boys. Like, boys just don't.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying girls couldn't do it too, but in my experience, like, Addie's so cautious about things.
And I always thought, like, it's such a stigma, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
like, whenever I had Addie, I'm like, there's such a stigma on boys, and then I had one, and I was like, oh, it's all true. Like, oh, there's a reason why people say that.
I survived like a year of parenting where you didn't have a boy yet, and I don't feel like you judged me in any way, but I feel like you were like, oh, that's different.
Oh, I was surprised by a lot of things.
That's interesting.
Oh,
like the fact that we had to call like poison control on him like 3 times before he turned 1.
He's messing with outlets, which Addie never did.
Well, and like you didn't have to lock your cabinets. All these things and then Fielding would come over and you're like, what the hell's going on?
He's into everything.
And now you have a son and you're like, oh my
God. He is into everything. So it's in their nature.
It's that Y chromosome.
Yep. Shame on you.
Those hoes be making us ask why.
Okay.
I might cut that out.
Let's move on to, no, please don't. Let's move on to holy matrimony. You ready?
I've got a good one this week.
Okay.
It's about myself and my husband. So we had movie night.
I hope it would be about your husband since it's holy matrimony.
You know what? Touche. Well, because it's from his POV because I didn't experience it firsthand, but I am the perpetrator because we had like so the Northern Lights were like visible all over the world on Friday,
in Houston,
and so yeah, except for in shithole Houston, and we were like having a talk, and I was telling everybody I'd been drinking clearly, and I was like, the end times are coming, we need help, and no, seriously, so we were having like a heavy religious talk where I was like, we need to go to church and get out of here.
That's when we were over, right?
Yes, I was saying you and I were talking about this. I was like, the end times are coming, like we need to go somewhere, and so anyways, that was obviously like, I mean, I still kind of feel that way, but that was also my like, you know, if you break another glass, I'm gonna end your life.
I got it. I just try to pour champagne with one hand. Like, I try to be really smooth. That way I wouldn't interrupt anything.
Around the mic, and I'm sure the mic's like...
She's like literally scarred from my last.
Well, you also almost broke this glass right before we started recording.
I told you I'm clumsy. What do you expect from me?
Okay. Anyway, so we're having a pretty heavy religious talk before y'all left and we went to sleep and whatever. But Connor said I'd been asleep for about an hour, and out of nowhere I said,
"I'm so scared."
I said, "In Jesus' name, amen." And Connor was like, "What?" And I just didn't respond. I'm a sleep talker.
Wait, is that a sign that you were like actually praying while I was convicted?
No, literally. My mother-in-law said, I have been praying for you. I'm like, Jennifer, I don't know that that's what this was going on, but I appreciate it. But
it's called divine intervention.
Literally.
She's about to turn Catholic.
I see you at Sign Sky Dad. But no, so yeah.
In Jesus' name, amen. Honestly, amazing.
No, it's not weird.
But
I do sleep talk. I don't do it like before I was on anxiety medication. I would talk in my sleep so bad. Like Connor woke up when we were dating a few times. Not that we slept in the same bed overnight, but before marriage. But but
she's so religious.
Yeah. But he would wake up and I would be laughing in my sleep, and I'm like, thank God that you are. Yeah, I would have been like, I'm leaving. Goodbye, possessed demon.
Didn't you say you have like sleep paralysis sometimes?
I have sleep paralysis. I sleepwalk, and I have used to have night terrors. I'm troubled.
You're full of those demons.
Literally, I don't have night terrors anymore.
That's why you're literally praying in your sleep.
Please, the power of Christ compels you in my sleep.
The cross up above your bed, turning down.
I have my head spinning 360, and I'm projectile vomiting. And Connor's like, she's fine. Connor's like, give her some more Zoloft. She's good.
Perfect. She's still perfect in my eyes.
It's literally a miracle that I'm married.
Yeah.
That
a miracle by God. Are you just now having this revelation?
This whole thing has been...
I can't quit laughing.
I know. My whole marriage is a sham. It's just Connor's just a priest trying to do an exorcism on me.
He's actually part of a documentary.
A documentary? Are you British? I can't open my eyes.
Oh my God. Right. Y'all, sorry.
Shut the fuck up.
This is as bad as pandas are the apex predators.
I told my mom and my brother that you said that today. I was like, y'all have to listen to this because Kortnie thought that.
At least the first 6 minutes, y'all.
I literally said, Kortnie, I said, what's the apex predator? And this bitch says T-Rex. And Tristan,
confidently.
My brother goes, okay, well. And I said,
thank you, Tristan.
No. Well, against you. He was saying like, okay, well.
Never mind. I hate you.
He was like, obviously, that's apex predator. 65 million years ago. And then I said that you said it again, and your answer was pandas. And Tristan had almost the exact same response. He was like, who are the apex predators? You fucking bamboo.
No, my favorite line from that whole thing, which I didn't even realize until I was rewatching it, and Emily's like, they're Asia's sweethearts.
They are.
Like, oh my God, I need a meme of a panda and it's just Asia's sweethearts above it.
I'm gonna take you to a panda exhibit and make you like do a meet and greet so you can see that they're not. They literally. I put it in our Instagram story because I was like, you picked one, something that's 16, and two, the second thing you picked was a vegetarian bear.
And
out of all the bears.
thing is that like Kevin, who we mentioned before, also gave me a hard time about the pickle-sized roach. Like I think he's just like really intelligent. I see him as a very smart
he is a very
human being.
intelligent person.
And so whenever he's giving me a hard time, and like because he had messaged you on Instagram saying like, oh yeah, they're really smart, blah, blah, blah. And so then I just texted him like panda heads. And and he sent something back, and I was literally just nervous laughing,
Do you want to redo? What would be, if you could pick again, what would you pick? No,
I haven't thought about it anymore.
Okay.
It's still pandas.
She's going to be like salamanders, like something stupid.
The megalodon. I don't know.
You're really on the megalodon right now. Not like you mentioned it last. Are you watching documentaries? What's going on?
No, it's just
something on your heart.
Something on my heart. I've been praying about
Giant prehistoric sharks.
Okay, we got to get it together because we need to move on to our next holy matrimony story. Mm-hmm. So this one, I don't know if you guys have heard of Temu, also known as Temu. Is that like the Super Bowl commercial pronounced it correctly, but everyone I know says Temu.
Oh, I thought they said Temu on the commercial.
No, it was like Temu.
I don't accept that.
Okay, but anyways.
Wrong for your own company.
Sponsor us. So this girl texted and said, my husband is addicted to Temu.
Relatable.
That isn't even the story, but it could be. So he found a great deal on some outdoor tools, right? And Emily texts back, oh God. And we'll post this picture with it because I think this is the most
Temu thing.
Yeah, not even man thing. I can't blame it on a man thing. It's the most Temu thing ever. And it's a picture of, it's like the size of his palm, right? He's holding out his palm.
Like a shovel that is maybe like 3 inches tall.
It's like if you're going to garden like your succulents, right? You know those succulent gardens?
Maybe. Or like a bonsai tree, the little tiny one.
I don't know who's using these tools, but I also don't know who's falling, besides her husband, is falling for, like, I'm sure he saw $2.
Yes.
And it's like a shovel, it's a sledgehammer, and it's an axe as well. So he thought he was getting 3 or 4 tools.
And is my next text on there? Because I think I asked her, like...
No, I don't see it.
I said, so did he have fun shoveling one leaf? Because that was... That's it.
That's all you're getting done.
That's all she wrote.
But then she goes on to say... So also in this specific order was... This is everything he's ordered from Temu, guys. This is hilarious. He ordered multiple fake wedding rings. He has probably 20 already. Makes sense.
That's fine.
Committed. Fake gemstones. Listen. Righteous gemstones, if you've ever seen that.
I love that.
In case the world goes to shit and he needs things to trade for food.
Then he would use fake ones.
Like you're really going to fool people.
Already counterfeit money, like prison.
I think this is the best one. And 2 to 24 karat gold Donald Trump $1 bills. Like I have to $1 million bills. I have to
like
read
it's
that
$1 million on one bill.
Okay, yeah,
but gold.
And it's 2 to 24 karat. Karat what? Because you're not getting 2 to 24 karat.
Well, they say 2 to 24 and they mean 2. And by 2 they mean
0.2
gold sprinkles. The gold was in the room when they printed them.
Honestly, didn't realize you can even order all of that on Temu. So thank you for enlightening us. Thank you for getting us ahead of end times and knowing that we're just going to
trade Donald Trump $1 million bills and also
his gemstones. I think what we should do is buy up all of the gemstones possible on Temu, and then we have that to hold above his head.
You don't want to go to the real gemstones? Because I mean, we could buy one gemstone, and we also know he's counterfeit now, so we're not going to trade it.
I would just rather like try to hold counterfeit gemstones over his head. Because we're going to take him down. Like we're going to outlive him in the apocalypse.
So you want to be like a mob boss of counterfeit gemstones
of Temu gemstones
from China that are probably going to give us lead poisoning.
Yes, correct.
Sick. Okay, cool. Yeah. I'm so in.
I know you just needed to get that right.
Yeah, sorry. Make me flow chart later because I really need to know. But I got it now, I think. Perfect. Okay. I think we're going to skip Cheers and Jeers this week, which I literally didn't even tell you, but
no, that's totally fine.
We just recorded a couple days.
And honestly, I had thought of other things, but I didn't think about my Cheers and Cheers. So that's perfect.
We recorded Saturday and we released like a bonus episode for Mother's Day on
Go
Sunday.
Listen if you haven't already.
Yes. And I mean, it's the same format as our regular shows. We just kind of, I feel like got derailed more than usual. But I mean,
we got pretty derailed here. But it was definitely more Mother's Day themed.
We did like a Mother's Day segment instead of like mom time. It was like Mother's Day specific, right? So we did that on Sunday. So we're releasing 2 episodes this week. So we don't, but that all I had to say, we released on Saturday.
All of that to say, hang on, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Excuse me.
We are working women.
We are working women. I stayed up
2 episodes.
I stayed up till midnight 30 on Saturday. To release on Sunday.
You did. You were sacrificing the shit out of everything. I was. So proud of us.
And my son was like, please go to sleep. Turn the lights off. He didn't say those words, but he was like,
Yeah, you interpreted. That's his language. You interpreted that.
No, like I speak whatever that language is.
It's on Google Translate.
Yeah, and he's like, go to sleep, bitch. Turn the light off. Yeah, he was getting really mad at me. He likes to rip off my headphones when I'm editing. It's a really fun situation. But the reason I'm saying we're skipping it is because something that people have asked us about, because we're such experienced mothers, is our recommendations for products and brands.
Should we do just one a week, or were you just going to lay it all out?
I mean, I was going to kind of let it rip, but we can do one a week. You want to make them salivate for it?
I would. Let's just like
what's your
Netflix
number one
and Apple TV lets us.
I wrote down a bunch of them, but I want you to pick out of what I wrote down what you think is the biggest.
I was looking at the list, and if I had a new mom recommendation, I would definitely choose the Solly wrap. I use that all throughout with Adeline, like so much. With Tucker, he was a little bit heavier than her, and so
you didn't use it as much with Tucker. That's interesting.
I didn't, but I think because like Addie entertained him a lot more with the second one. But so it's a wrap that it's just a baby carrier essentially, but you wrap it and it's very soft.
It's literally a piece of fabric, but the way it's woven is what makes it so amazing. So like if you've never heard of Solly wrap, it's SOLLY and then wrap, but you turned me on to them, and I tried to order like a fake Amazon one, and it was so hot. It would make us sweat so much.
Yes, I remember you saying that. And I Solly wrap, whatever material they're using is very breathable. Well, it's because they weave like separate directions or something. There's something about how it's woven that makes it breathable. Well, and that's why it's stretchy. Yes. So it's literally just like a giant rectangle of fabric, but you learn how to wrap it. And I actually, one of my students that's graduated had a baby last year, and I gifted my Solly wraps to them. I love that. Because with mine, I gave it to my sister for a little while, so she got to use it with her girls, and then she gave it back, so we've passed it back. So it's been between 4 kids, and so any piece of like baby gear, I mean, the Solly wrap I think is $60, which seems expensive. I think it's like 60 to 80, but it's really not for as much use as I got out of it. It's worth everything. Like I said,
you're the one that told me about them, and I could not figure out how to wrap it at first. And you came over when fielding was brand new, and you showed me how to do it. And do you remember that was the only way he would take naps for months?
Yeah.
And I put that 32-pound child in that Solly wrap a few months ago. You did. And my spine almost broke, but he was like,
it was still holding him though.
It still held him. No, they go up to like a kind of like, I think 35 pounds. It's kind of crazy. But I mean, obviously at a certain point they get over it, but like that's
wanted to try it out again on him.
Well, he like would grab it and I was like, all right, let's go, bro.
Yeah.
But that's the only way I got through grocery stores. I would put him in that and we'd go to Costco. Yes. I'd put him in that. I could do everything.
I felt so independent with Addie. Yes. We would go to like the small little Kroger in Ohio where we lived, and I just felt like very confident that, I can go hands-free. I'm not dragging around this giant car seat to put in the basket and then try to put all of my groceries strategically around that. And so and I remember like vacuuming while she was
I would put fielding in it, and I would literally like I'd get out of the shower and like put him in it, do my makeup, I'd blow dry my hair. Yeah. And he would sit in it and he'd sleep the whole time until he was like 4 or 5 months old. Pretty old.
Addie was about 6 months whenever I stopped. But
I still kept doing it for probably a year. He stayed on Solly wrap. He loved the Solly wrap.
So I highly recommend that. What about you? What's your recommendation?
I guess I do another one?
Yeah, let's do it. One apiece.
I'm going to say this is really expensive, but I know what you're going to say. Worth it. The Duna. The Duna car seat. It's like $600. It is outrageously expensive. However, if you can get people to split it with you or contribute to it, it is one of the most amazing pieces of technology for moms because so if you don't know what the Duna is, sorry, I should my mic. It's a car seat that also turns into a stroller. So like the wheels and the actual stroller base like collapse into themselves. So whenever you are at a grocery store when they're like too big for the Solly wrap, or if they're sleeping and you don't want to disturb them, you literally get the whole car seat out like you would with the carrier, and then you hit a button and the wheels pop out of the bottom and you can push them. And
and you know what? Us talking about this, I realized, so the Solly wrapped I use with Addie more, and then the Doona I use with Tucker. And the thing about the Doona, yes, it's expensive, but like you got it passed down from Claire.
I got the Doona new. And then I passed it
I thought you got it from Claire.
I got my running stroller from Claire. My amazing jogging stroller that I've never run with. But the Doona I got from Connor's dad got me the Doona.
I did not realize that. So she got the Doona, and then I used it with Tucker, and then we still kind of have it because it's like, I'm done having kids. We're
not sure who to pass it to next.
We don't know who to pass it to next. So like, I'm going to hold on to it because it's like such
But I have friends like Rindy passed it to Mary Elizabeth. You know what I mean? Like, everyone I know has passed it to someone else because they're so sturdy and so durable, and Fielding outgrew it so fast, unfortunately, because again, he's a monster on like creatine and wasp spray, but he outgrew it and it was like a lifesaver. But I could not get it into the car with him at a certain point because he was so heavy.
It does get very heavy, but that was a lifesaver. Like, and I loved it because Addie and Tucker are 3 years apart, 3.5. It's actually at more her height. Like, it's adjustable, and so she could push it around the store while I had the basket, and that was really, really helpful. So I loved that. If you're needing, like, I would say there are certain pieces that are worth investing in, and the Solly wrap and the Doona are those things.
And especially if you're going to have multiple kids, the Doona is so beyond worth it. Like, Connor and I pretty much knew we were only going to have one child. Like, that's kind of what we said before we even had Fielding, and we still got it. But it has been used by multiple people, and I think if you're like going into motherhood or parenthood, if you're a dad listening to this and you know you want to have more than one kid, it is so worth the investment because it is truly a game changer. Like, especially when you have a toddler, because you can be like, your ass holds onto this car seat situation, and you walk in the store. Like, it is just
it's so nice.
One less thing to think about. So those are our mom recs of the week, and maybe we'll try to do those like every other week or something. We'll switch them out.
I like that idea, and I like that we're getting really good feedback of like, hey, why don't you guys tell like what you're drinking every time, or like mom recommendations. I like that people are trusting us with like, our opinions. That means a lot to us.
You shouldn't. We're idiots, but
but we also like, we do know.
I'm just kidding. Well, we have done a lot of research.
We're both like a lot. I've done so much research on like a ton of baby stuff. You have as well. We both did. And it's funny because like we could share like what we found for each other, but we still also did our own research. And so I do feel confident in like what we chose to use with our kids for the most part. We have
different approaches to motherhood in some ways, but we're also very similar in other ways.
But we do.
And I think it's really good because you kind of get both. I feel like I'm more laissez-faire at certain things, and you're more strict on certain things, and then vice versa. But
I'm very
But you're good. Like I value that part of you too.
Well, and same, like being more laid back, and for you, like laid back and like, I'm not going to sweat the small things. I'm like, oh, what small things? They all feel big, you know?
It's just
so it's all give and take, and so it's nice to have like different opinions, and I appreciate you guys even like
trusting us with what
we have to say. So on that note, let's round it up with our
our sponsors. Do you want me to take it?
Yeah.
Oh, I would love to. Okay. So we talked about it last week. Well, not last week, Sunday. But we have a code. Yeah, it feels like 30 days ago. We have a code for you guys for Club Sunscreen. It is Cheers to That 20. And that is for mineral sunscreen. It's safe for babies. It's safe for adults. This is really important because mineral sunscreen is like the only sunscreen you can use under 6 months old.
Yes. Well, and it's a sunscreen that will like sit on top of the skin, but that's actually a good thing.
It's a physical
because
barrier.
Your skin is not completely absorbing
It's a physical barrier versus a chemical barrier. So the mineral sunscreen is like healthier. It doesn't absorb into the skin, but it does block the sun. I still use mineral sunscreen on my child, as Kortnie does too. Like it doesn't after 6 months old. It's still good for them to keep using, and I use mineral sunscreen on myself. So, Club Sunscreen gave us that code. Cheers to That 20. That gets you 20% off at checkout, and that is good until the end of 2024. So they were nice enough to give us that code for the rest of the year.
That. Oh my gosh,
so that's going to get you all the way through the summer, and 20% off is a huge discount. This is a small company that we are so happy to support, and we really believe in like their mission protection and sun safety and skin safety and all the things. So thank you, Club Sunscreen. We're so grateful for that, and we'll keep shouting that out. But yeah, I think we've
come to the end. The beautiful ending.
The end of the road.
Let's harmonize.
Nope, too high. We were trying to do mashups before we started recording, and Kortnie just kept.
I just throw in random shit.
Like I was trying to do like the ones from Pitch Perfect, and you were just like coming in with like Led Zeppelin. I'm like, what the fuck? What are you doing? Like
that's just me, y'all.
That's just me. She's just so authentic. Yeah, she just shares what's on her heart, and that's usually Bruno Mars. So, anyways, we love you guys. Thank you for the support.
Yes,
please remember to rate, review, and subscribe. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the places you can listen to us. We are so grateful for your support always. And
thank you for everything. We appreciate it.
Thank you for being a friend. Down and back again. Don't know the words.
I don't know. All right, on that note, cheers to that. Bye.